Yes, I'm aware that every other video has been about book defacing. Deal with it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is book defacing episode 3. So I was live streaming on Instagram the other day. By the way, you should totally follow me on Instagram for more live streams. Link in the description. And during that live stream, I got a request to make a video about my defacing supplies. So that's what I'm going to do. First, I'll give you a little update of what I've done. So first of all, I put a gloss varnish on the cover so that it's shiny, because I like shiny books. Then I went to the spine with a silver Sharpie and a black colored pencil, I think. And I had intended for this to look like Fiona's, like, vines. You know what I'm talking about? But it ended up looking like tentacles. Then I realized that that kind of represents the hollows, so it works. My dog just growled. I'm sorry, I'm not editing that out. So then I went inside to this front page and I did this Dreamcatcher and a hollow and a bird. I did this with silver Sharpie. I used black colored pencil for the hollow and the bird. Now probably my favorite part of this book is the back. This was what I was live streaming, and the first part of this live stream was not cute because I had like almost 40 people joining that live stream. That's the most that has ever joined my live stream. So like, I was distracted by the chat and the bird ended up looking like this. So that was fun. But then I worked on it the next day and I finished it and it looks great. It's a peregrine falcon and I used a silver gel pen to highlight the branches so it's nice and shiny. I like shiny things, I'm realizing. So yeah, I think I'm almost done defacing this. I just need to attack this back spread and like one day reread and like annotate things and scribble in the margins. So yeah, I'm almost done with this and I'm gonna start defacing another book. So onto the supplies I use. Everything I use is in this pencil case that I got from Disney World. So if we open it up, there's a lot of things. Things just fell. I guess we'll start with those. So the things that fell out are my multi-liners. I used the Pigma Micron pens in 01, 03, and 05. The 05 is not a Pigma Micron, it is a Copic multi-liner. But really, any India ink based pen should work. I got these, like a pack of 3 for like $6 at Michael's, so not that expensive. And the markers that I use are the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Brush Pen. These are great pens. I love them. They don't have a terrible odor like most Sharpies or alcohol-based markers do. I love these. They're great. And I think you can get a pack of 6 for like $20, but you can use a 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby. So not that expensive either. Now, for actually going through and annotating, good old ballpoint pen will work. I have this one that's like multiple colors. Highlighter, in case you want to highlight passages, and a regular number 2 pencil. One of the best things for coloring on the toned paper that's in the front pages of books, you can use colored pencils. The best brand for book defacing, I would say, is Prismacolor Premier, but they work great for book defacing. They're not that expensive. They're reasonably priced. They're wax-based, super opaque, very creamy. They work really good. The colored pencil is what I did the house with, so they work great. And next, my favorite supply, gel pens. Gel pens are my favorite thing to use for book defacing because they can be super opaque. There's a bunch of different kinds of gel pens from a bunch of different brands. I'd say test out a few and see what you like. The first brand I'm going to talk about is Sakura Jelly Roll. I got a pack of 3 white ones for like $5. So these are great. They have a metallic set, a moonlight set, stardust, all sorts of different stuff. Another brand of gel pen that I like that you can find pretty easy are these ones by Sargent Art. I found these at Walmart next to the adult coloring book. It comes with 9 glitter pens and 1 metallic silver pen. This is the pen I use the most. The metallic pens are going to be a lot more opaque and they're going to show up on the paper better. Glitter pens, you won't see as much of the color if it's on toned or black paper, but you'll see the glitter a lot. Like the glitter loves to pop. These next supplies I'm going to show you are best for getting your sketch onto the book. Because before I go crazy and paint I don't trust myself to go in straight with the paint. I always have to have a sketch on the book first. So for sketching, I use tracing paper. I got this at Walmart for like $3 or $4. Very inexpensive. You can find it at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, the internet. It's a sheet of really thin paper that's kind of translucent. You can see it if I hold my book up to it. You can see through the paper. This works great if you don't trust your freehanding skills and you don't want to sketch directly on the book. You can sketch it on that first and then use something called transfer paper to transfer it over. Now you don't have to buy transfer paper, you can make it yourself, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. If you can't find the tracing paper, I think you could get away with using wax paper. Acrylic paint, that's how I did the cover of Miss Peregrine's. I use Liquitex Basics. You can use craft paint. Any acrylic based paint should work. Now I'm going to deface Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. This is one of my favorite books. I loved it. It was great, and I know exactly what I want to do on it, so let's get started. So getting started, I'm going to take the tracing paper in my book and trace the outline of the book onto the tracing paper just so I know how big my sketch needs to be. And I'm going to sketch my design onto it, and then we can get started. For some reason this is going really slow. I forgot to time-lapse this. Okay, how to make transfer paper. This is very easy. You just want a regular scrap of any kind of paper, drawing paper, printer paper, notebook paper, anything will work. You just want a small scrap of it and a pencil, and what you're going to do is just scribble, pressing pretty hard on the pencil, and just scribble all over the back of it. I had to tape mine down because the paper wanted to move all over the place. So, yeah. You can see this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm scribbling it in every direction. Kind of wish I would have sped this up a little faster, but it's too late for that. This is really boring. Now, if you're working up against tone paper, you can use white chalk instead of the graphite pencil, so it'll show up better. Now we can get on to defacing. So I'm cutting out my design to fit the shape of my book, and I'm going to tape it to the book. You can kind of see my sketch there on the tracing paper. But first I'm going to tape off the little MC embossed image because I wanted that to show through. So I'm going to tape the tracing paper to the book, and I'm going to lay my transfer paper underneath it. And I'm just going to trace over what I already have sketched, and the transfer paper is going to transfer the image on. I'm using white transfer paper, so my sketch is going to be white, but if you're using black, it'll be black, and I think they have different shades of gray. There's all sorts of different kinds of transfer paper. So now that we're done, you can see my outline there. Now I'm using acrylic paint. I'm using different shades of blues, purples, white, red, which is all sorts of colors. I'm painting kind of like a galaxy look. And I'm mixing quite a bit of water with my paint so that it will flow a little bit easier. Because the thing with the book, painting on a book rather than a canvas, the book isn't primed. It's not prepared. It doesn't have a prepared. I can't talk. It doesn't have a prepared surface for painting, so the paint just kind of soaks into it and doesn't want to blend that much. So adding a little bit of water will help it flow a little better. You can see I'm just doing layer after layer after layer. This isn't something that you'll do one layer and be like, okay, I'm done, moving on. No, you want to build up a good amount of layers until you get it exactly how you want. If it doesn't turn out exactly how you want, go for close. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a book. Now I'm flicking on stars with a stiff brush. A toothbrush will work just as well, and some white paint. Now with my silver gel pen, I'm outlining my wolf, and I'm going to start hatching just little lines to get the look of fur. And again, these gel pens are by the brand Sargent Art. Once I have all the fur sketched in, I'm going to smudge that out with my finger to get kind of a foggy look, and I'm going to hatch those lines back in. Now for the Dreamcatcher. I did the same thing as I did before with the tracing and transfer paper. I used a spirograph to get this design for the Dreamcatcher, but you can freehand it if you want, or trace it off the internet. I'm just using my silver gel pen to outline everything. And I was actually surprised how well the gel pen stuck to the acrylic paint. I thought it would just scratch off and flake and not stick at all, but I was pleasantly surprised. So now I'm just freehanding some feathers, and I'm coloring them in with the glitter gel pens. These, I was actually impressed with how well they showed up on the paper. I thought they were going to be too translucent. They actually worked pretty well. And something I'm going to do, which you're not going to see in the video, is I actually went over the entire galaxy with those, and I smudged it out with my finger, and it kind of worked as a kind of final polish or glaze to the galaxy, and gave it that really nice look. Because of the glitter in the gel pens, it just looked like stars. And I like the way it turned out. So there you can see it took off the Magnus Chase logo, the tape covered it up, protecting it from all the paint, and that is it. Here's the finished product. So shiny, so nice. Transition to the future. Yeah, it's much later in the day and the lighting the sun is gone. This is the finished product. This is how I go about defacing my books. Really liked how it turned out. I like how sparkly it is. You didn't see it in the video, but I went over the galaxy with glitter gel pens. It kind of worked like a glaze, and it looks so shiny and so nice, and I love it. So that's 2 books that I've defaced. I don't think I'm going to go as crazy on this one. I think I'll stop at the cover. I may do the back, I may not. I think I'll stop here. Whereas this, I went crazy and I decorated everything. But I don't think I'll attack these. I mean, I may change my mind. But if there's anything you want to see me deface, let me know in the comments. And you by no means have to have all of this stuff that I use. I'm an artist, so I just randomly had all this stuff on hand. If you want to buy some metallic Sharpies and craft paint, you can do that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, links in the description. I will see you next week. Not next week. I'll see you Friday. Goodbye.